Hey everybody, so excited to be back with another amazing guest, Corey B. He just wants to be a BB, obviously.
Obviously, I want to join the fam.
Yes. But Corey Blumenfeld, I honestly, y'all know that it's kind of hard to impress me, but I've really enjoyed watching his content and what he's saying. There's so much alignment with what Josh and I talk about around humanizing our voices and being raw and real. And so Corey is a LinkedIn friend. Very excited to have him on today to talk about being a founder and growing visibility and just like living the life here. If you are watching or watching the recording, whatever you're doing, say hello, write a comment, make sure you connect with Corey if you're not already. Let us know what questions are coming in. Very excited to have us here together. So, all right, with that, Corey, I'd love to start. I was checking out your LinkedIn profile. One of the things that I loved, and we tell people to do this, is that you have what seems to be your first job as a driveway repair guy. Is that true? Because that was on the bottom of the profile.
Yes, I wouldn't call that. It was like my first business.
Okay, but it was a business. Okay, so I want to hear that's where you started, and now you've founded 4 different companies, healthcare. Talk about this journey a little bit, where you started and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, no, happy to do that. First job actually was during Christmas break. I would run fairs for Christmas parties. My cousin got me that job. A lot of fun. But no, that was, the driveway sealing or the driveway repair. I don't even call that a business at the time. It was how do we make money, me and my friend, to pay for school. I got an odd summer job doing driveway repair, and I guess the entrepreneur in me was like, I'm giving so much of this away. I could do this myself. So I watched a few videos on YouTube, and we learned how to repair driveways. And we had a really good pitch. It was help pay for our school. We're doing this to support our education, and it worked. It was just a really good story, a good narrative to tell folks. So at the time, I wasn't thinking about scale. I wasn't thinking about how to delegate. It was just make money, doing things in a non-scalable way. And it was it really just aligned with who I was, being creative, solving problems, managing clients, managing a business. But yeah, at the time, I didn't think of it as a business. And then
that's definitely your first, entrepreneur. That's right there, entrepreneur 101. I didn't do that. And that's where when I talked to Josh, I'm like, yeah, you're like an ultra entrepreneur. I'm not. So Corey, this has been part of your bones since you were a kid. Then 4 businesses, how did you do all this?
Yeah, it's actually the 5th business is coming along now. So, honestly, and I talked about this sometimes, but all the businesses that I've started, I had no prior experience. It was just the will to get started. The next business I founded was in the healthcare space. I always wanted to be a doctor. So my parents told me, you have to be a doctor to do anything in healthcare. Everyone around me told me you had to be a doctor to help people. I took a course in entrepreneurship, and the professor was like, why do you need to do that? You can just build something, help more people maybe if it works. And that really sparked my creativity. It just felt like it was something that I was meant to be doing. So with little experience in app building, and it took a while to get there, we started building this company that digitized all that paper you get at a doctor's office or when you leave the hospital, and built that for 7 years. I call that my MBA because I knew nothing about business. It was all just new for me. I was a science student, a health science student, thought I was going to be a doctor, going into business, and I had my first exit. And through those years, it's like you learn so much when you're actually doing it, right? And I think that's my biggest takeaway. It's you have to just do. It's that paralysis that most people feel when they feel like they need more experience. They can't just jump into things. And I think with all the ventures that I've been in, I just need to do. I don't have the experience, but I'll learn as I go. The next business was in U.S. health insurance. I'm Canadian. What do I know about U.S. health insurance? But we became the experts in Medicare and the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare. And we were teaching people how to understand their insurance. And we started partnering with financial advisors and building out a solution for them because, Who would have thought, in the US, healthcare is the number one cost of bankruptcy, and financial advisors didn't have a real good solution to actually incorporate that into the financial plan. And so we became the experts. People came to us to ask us questions, yet all along we were Canadian. And we were able to figure that out. And we built that for 3 years and scaled it. And it was just a really awesome experience. And same with the driveway ceiling, no experience prior to that, just a couple of YouTube videos, right? So you see these and you start to realize that, like, okay, a lot of things are possible by just jumping in. The new businesses that I'm in were just accidental, right? I started creating content on LinkedIn, and I was doing that because in the prior businesses, I always took this back seat. I wanted to be a leader, but I always was just really leading from the back, and nobody likes the backseat driver, right? You can't really steer the ship from the backseat. So I exited my last business, Caribou. This was the insurance one. And I was like, okay, I need to grow myself as a leader. I need to put myself out there. I'm going to create content. It's something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to blog. I always wanted to put stuff out on social media because I felt visibility was super important for a leader. And I did that. And while I was doing that, I'd put in systems because I'm an operator. I put in systems. I documented everything. It became a lot of work for me. So I brought in some VAs to help support that. And, in doing so, people started reaching out to me, asking me questions, how is being so efficient and effective with my time? And the entrepreneur light bulb goes off when you start hearing people have a problem in managing their processes and managing their VAs. So one thing led to another. Fast forward 10 or 11 months now, we have a team of 40, and we're helping people manage their business operations using VAs. And in doing so, we've also become really good at LinkedIn and LinkedIn growth. And, we're starting a LinkedIn agency with one of our early first clients, actually, helping people grow because of the success it's led for me and my partner, Charlie Hills, as well. So we're going to help other people grow their businesses through LinkedIn as well. So I know that was a mouthful, but it all led to LinkedIn.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing too is just like a fearlessness that, like, most people get kind of bogged down. I would say, actually, I was that person, right? Where I have the undergrad, I have the MBA, I worked at Microsoft, I worked at Gartner, right? It took over a decade of being in it, having the entrepreneurial bug and spirit. And especially after meeting Josh, he was like, there's more for you. There's more for you. Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is part of being a woman and just some of that imposter syndrome. And like, I felt like I needed to have enough credibility and scorecard for myself to fully go 100% in on myself. And so I didn't leave corporate and do that until I was 33. And I love the journey that I've had. So if you're listening and you're the professional, everyone has their own journey. You've just like, well, I don't know how to do this. I'm just going to go do it. And that's really courageous. A lot of people don't have that. You definitely have something else going on in your brain where you're just like, I'm going to go give it a try. With that sort of mentality, and now we're moving into a world that is very automated, right? How are you thinking about with your speed to market, right? Because now you're saying you're on your 5th business. Yes, you got to get after it. And now I feel like you got to get after it even faster than ever before. Yeah. And there's now tooling to help us. What's sort of your take on that? And I mean, you've been in a bunch of different business models, but how are you seeing automation and this tooling impact the businesses that you're creating and the people you work with?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? I see it easier than ever to build a business, right? What was holding us back before? I don't have the team. I don't have the resources. I don't have the technical know-how. I see those as barriers that have been, broken down, right? So I don't have the team. Well, you can outsource. That's how my business has grown, because we help people outsource. But I outsourced everything. And, before, where I might have thought of it as an expense, it's now an investment for me, right? There's ROI that I'm driving. So my business is completely outsourced. It's completely remote. If we're talking about automation, there are so many amazing tools that can automate processes, that can help you build very simple websites. So, a lot of folks were limited by the marketing channels or the content process. right? I am super efficient now because I have ChatGPT that can help me edit content. I still bring the ideas, but I don't have to rely on an editor. Website builders that help me build stuff through AI. Like, I'm not an AI expert, but I do know that there's a lot of efficiencies that are being created now from these tools. So there's never been a better time. Yeah, speed to market is super important. I'm seeing that more than ever. Your ability to execute is kind of what differentiates you, because it's so competitive out there, right? And that's what speed is, right? It allows you to beat the competition of something. Now, the markets for a lot of things are big enough for multiple players, but really, when I think of speed, it's how quickly can you execute? How quickly can you get something done? Because your clients, your customers, your partners, that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking at, right? Like, is this person reliable? So the technology, the tools, the systems, the resources that are out there for folks, it's never been easier to build a business, but it's still, going back to what you were saying, it's still harder than ever, right? Because there is so much competition out there, because it's so easy, because now everyone's on social media talking about sharing their voice and sharing about what they may or may not have accomplished, right?
Yeah.
And we compare ourselves more, so it's easier to start the business, but it might not actually be easier to go all in.
Yeah. And to keep it going, right? I think
Yeah.
this is where I feel lucky because I have that branding and marketing expertise. And yes, a lot of marketing is now getting seemingly swallowed up by AI tools. I think that this is the era of branding, because if you don't figure out what your position, who exactly you're going after, and like niche down and like freaking hit it hard with that position, and you got to be transparent and stick to your gun with it. Like, you're not going to make it, because you're right. Like, there's so it is easier than ever to create a business, but to me, it's like, man, you really got to figure out what's your position. And I don't think anybody really knows how to do that. Like, I would say 1% do it really, really well.
Yeah, there has never been as much competition as there has been today. It's not impossible, right? This is the paralysis that I see. People, there's 100 other people doing it. Yeah, that's okay, but the market's even bigger. Like, markets are growing, and brand. I'm no branding expert, but I've seen what brand has been able to do for me, what having a voice has been able to do for me. And I think it's, the other interesting thing today is it's so much easier to have a brand. It's so much easier to have a voice, because there's so many communication channels, so many platforms that allow you to do that, right? My business is built on putting myself out there. And so I think that, the best thing, and when I talk to founders and business owners about this, it's put yourself out there, right? If you're holding yourself back because, things need to be perfect, then you're really missing out. But brand, people buy from people these days, right? And it's super important. We buy from people we want to spend time with. And this is more, I'd say, in the small business space, but you see with even the large businesses now, like, look at Facebook, what they did with Mark Zuckerberg in the last couple of years. They've made him cool. There's obviously intention behind that. They didn't do it because they were just like, oh, well, he looked weird before when he was on TV talking about security and everything. No, that's because people choose companies based on brand. And so you see that with all the big founders. The NVIDIA CEO wears that leather jacket, right? Now other people in Silicon Valley are wearing this leather jacket because of him. So brand, we choose big companies and small companies based on who's running them and their personal brand.
Yeah. I'm curious, this is more like a personal, I'm just curious. You've gotten funding in your previous businesses, right? Like venture backed, millions of dollars, at least what I was reading, you've gotten venture backed. When you think about the market today, when you think about how was that experience being venture backed? And I imagine that your presence in that process, your visibility as a founder while you're trying to get money was really important in people wanting to bet on you. Can you talk a little bit about that for those that might be the founder or looking for investment in this market?
Yeah, I've gone through it a couple times in raising capital. And so I have a couple different opinions on this. Obviously, capital, there are companies and founders that need capital, right? Those are, and raising VC capital, angel capital are for those companies that are going to 100x, 1000x their valuation, right? And I think for a lot of founders, when they're thinking about raising capital, they just think that's part of the game, right? And it's hard to be real with yourself. Like, is my business something that's going to 1000x? Is it going to be like a rocket ship? I think there's a lot of really awesome businesses out there, but the cost of building a business has gone significantly down. So if you can build without giving away equity or giving away control or ownership in a business, right? Especially these businesses that might not grow as big that VCs or angel investors need them to grow, there are alternatives, right? I still think the best thing, and this is my mindset after raising capital and going through the whole process of dealing with investors.
Yeah.
If you don't have to raise capital, if you can build a cash flow business, if you can build a business that generates revenue from the start, day one, day 100, and you focus on that, it becomes so much easier to control the narrative, right? I have a friend that I was talking to. They're a tech business. They can raise capital if they want, but they're generating revenue. It's been super easy for them to build the business, the tech business, because it's just that much easier these days to build tech. And the conversation with him was, we can raise capital. Do we need to? We're generating revenue. No, but we're in control of that narrative.
Yeah.
Right? We have more control. So, raising capital it's a science, right? Yes, there's a lot of folks that can raise capital. There's companies like ultra tech companies. If you're an OpenAI, if you are a Perplexity, if you're like an AI model, yes, it's going to take a lot of money to fund those businesses. But if you're a company that's built based off of those systems, can you spin up something quickly and start generating revenue, right? There will always be investors that are willing to invest if you're good at storytelling. It's just, you need to understand if that's the right decision for you to make now. And for me, at my stage of life, I'm more focused on cash flow because it allows me to control the narrative. If we need to take on money in the future, that's more for growth. But that, I don't want to have to rely on that for growth. I want to rely on the business model for growth. And so that's kind of my mindset today when I think about capital.
Yeah, I think that's super sound. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What do you see with founders or small businesses that you're working with, like biggest constant mistake that you're seeing them make?
Biggest myth. So it's interesting. So I've seen two things recently, and this is why I'm going into the content space. I see folks that they have they're really good at sales. They're really good at selling themselves. They're really good at personal branding. They go to market, but they don't build the systems in place. So they go and they don't have the systems in place for scale. And therefore things break apart very quickly. Mm-hmm. And again, this is going to be biased based on the business that I run because this is the problem that we're trying to solve. And then I see founders that, they're really skilled at what they do, but they don't know how to let go. And so they can't grow because they have to be involved in everything. They're working in the business. And so, they hold themselves back. So these are the two common problems that I've been seeing. This is why I'm super excited to get into the LinkedIn agency ghostwriting space because, as I watch founders, especially, more small business owners, if you can help them and teach them how to delegate, I think with what we were talking about before, like a lot of these service-based businesses, you can scale them now. And it comes down to really good systems. And with those really good systems, it's working on the business versus in the business. And if you can do these things, you can build the systems in place that took very, businesses that had a lot of overhead and really automating a lot of those processes and stepping away and letting them run themselves. So those are the two things that I'm seeing these days because that's where my focus is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel that personally, and also just witnessing that. I mean, certainly one of my, just echoing and thinking about my journey, leaving corporate, now being with Standout Authority 4+ years. And my gosh, Rachel, in 2021, first getting into this business, I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted just control over everything. I mean, Josh and I we butt heads so much with our personalities. And the more that we've let go, to your point, and just have a really great team, which I've seen that you've written about that as well. it's not just outsourcing, it's like really finding the right team that gets your
Yeah.
mission and is like, I'm gonna be here with you up, down, and like, because I get what you guys are trying to do. That has been so important for us. Has that been for you as well? The kind of people you're surrounding yourself with and your team?
Team is everything.
Yeah.
Team is everything. And, I build the businesses with the team first. I don't put the clients first. I put the team first because the team services the clients. The team is what delivers the work. So everything I have today is because of the team. They've helped unlock a lot of potential in me, and hopefully I've helped unlock potential in them. I give them the space to learn and grow, and they give me their belief, their loyalty, and their trust. So yeah, team, in my opinion, is everything. Yeah, there's going to be businesses that can be one person. Sam Altman is talking about the first 1 billion solo entrepreneur, and that may exist, but I just think if you're working in a team, they're the most important thing, and it really starts with the top, right? So the founders, the CEOs, they set the tone, the culture for that team. So, for me early on, it's the culture is all about the team. I know the team's going to be growing, and I want them to feel like they're part of that growth, that they drive the growth, right? It's not just the Corey show.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of humility in that I'm hearing you, which is some of the best leaders, right? Humility and leading by example. So, so many good things. A couple rapid fire. So your favorite song when you want to get pumped up?
Favorite song? I don't even know. It just changes. What have I been listening to lately?
Or it could be a walkout song, walk up song. Like if you're taking the stage.
I'm a baseball player, so I don't have one these days. I let Spotify. They have this AI feature, right? Because AI is changing everyone's life. It just plays the music and what I'm feeling. Avicii has a new song that I've been listening to. Even
R.I.P.
So R.I.P. Right? I know there's this Diplo song called "Forever" that pumps me up.
Okay.
The Beatles pump me up. Beatles are my favorite band. So whatever comes on, I with music, I want someone to play it for me versus pick it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple songs. This is Swedish House Mafia. Apparently, has been playing a lot. Being in Mexico, I really Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny comes on. I'm pumped up.
Bad Bunny, yes, a lot of Bad Bunny. Oh my god, I love that. Okay. I'm still curious on what your walkout song was like when you played, high school.
What it was Mammoth by I don't remember their names, but it was a EDM song that pumped me up.
Okay, so lots of EDM I'm hearing.
I had a walk up song. Yeah. And that's what it was.
Okay, there we go. Okay. I was a softball player, so there you go. I love that. So if you weren't building startups, you'd be ... Fill that in.
I guess a doctor. I'd still be going down that path. Like I always wanted to be a doctor. Yeah, I was passionate about it. Just the healthcare system doesn't want to be fixed sometimes. That's how it feels.
Okay.
Or it's super hard to fix it.
Yes.
And I like hard problems, but it's bureaucratic, and I don't like politics.
Yeah. Well, for sure. We won't even go there. We won't even go there. You're a Canadian, and I'm so sorry for my country.
No, don't. I don't think about it. I'm in Mexico now, so I'm happy here.
Also, so sorry for my country. Okay, someone you'd love to have dinner with, dead or alive.
Honestly, this is the one thing that's always hard for me. It's like I don't have role models. Like I don't look up to people. I learn from people. But one person that I really respect, Anthony Bourdain. I love his humor, how sarcastic he is. I love traveling. Like I'm really like, and he started later in life. And it's just his story's so motivating. He's so well spoken. He knows how to connect with people. It's unfortunate that he was super sad himself, but him. I don't know if we'd have much to talk about because he's very sophisticated and loves to read. And, I wish I loved to read, but Anthony Bourdain.
I think that you could talk to him because I think he could talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You, Anthony. Okay. This is like not as fun of a question, but here it is. What tool, favorite tool that keeps your team and operations super tight? One thing that you couldn't live without.
SOPs and Notion.
Is that
Well, the standard operating procedures.
No, I know what an SOP. Oh, okay.
Notion.
In
Notion. Yeah, the Notion is the team. Like one thing I couldn't live without. It's the team. My business partners, they're fantastic.
Tool. I guess it should be more.
I know. tool.
Okay.
Tool.
So you guys are big.
ChatGPT. I couldn't live without ChatGPT at this point in life. Like it is. We have templates, everything. My life. Like I've built out prompts for everything. In ChatGPT. Okay. Claude too. So Claude and ChatGPT. It depends on the situation.
No Copilot, Microsoft?
I don't know what to program, but I wish. There's Lovable, which I wish I knew.
Microsoft Copilot. It's part of the I think it's so funny. You know, I worked at Microsoft and they're really Copilot, but they said that ChatGPT 5 is now being embedded and rolled out with all Microsoft Copilot, which is
interesting.
Which is in all Outlook and Teams and stuff like that.
Oh, we use Notion. That's why. So we do most of our work on Notion. So it's making up for what Microsoft does.
Interesting. Yeah.
And Google. We use Google Docs too.
A lot. Yeah. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, I feel like we really hit on a lot. I feel like I got to know you quite a bit. We learned. If you enjoyed this conversation, please say what's up to Corey. Let us know in the comments. Say hi. Obviously LinkedIn, reach out to you. You have what else can they do to support you? New website, I heard. Like, what's happening?
Blumoso.com. That's the VA business. LinkedAgency.com. Linked-agency.com. That's the LinkedIn growth agency that I'm running with Charlie Hills. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter and
X.
Yeah, X. So yeah, it's called X now.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks, Corey. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and I will see you next month. And hey, Josh and I are launching Humanize Your Brand podcast in September, so I will be asking you to subscribe and join us on YouTube and on the podcast. Okay.
Thanks, Rachel. I end every call with a fist bump. Boom.